I'm excited that these things have come to light. I am excited that these things have come to light. We've been in sort of constant contact with the people at Crest Nicholson, and I had a phone call from them to say, would I be interested in coming and looking at some of these objects? And they said, you know, they need cleaning, they need a bit of love and attention. And I said, we'd be delighted, because you know it's our remit. So we went down to collect this great miscellaneous collection of dusty bottles and jars, and have spent quite a while getting them to this state. They might not look very clean to you, but in fact they were in a bit of a state before they arrived. I've got them specially cleaned up for you. That's well, no, I haven't, but they were in a terrible condition. And so we're hoping, once we've got them cleaned and got them sorted out, we're going to put them on exhibition. They're not the crown jewels, you know, they're not great works of art, but they're what's left from that period, from everyday life at the end of the 19th century. You know, everyone throws away their rubbish, so this is it. Well, these bottles and jars were excavated during the work that's being done on the replacement of the Destructor Bridge between the upper and the lower Bristol roads. And they date from the late 19th century by and large. They're paste jars, they're sauce bottles, and they're ink bottles. So they're the sort of things that you might expect an ordinary household to get rid of. I mean, at the time before disposable packages for things like sauce or meat paste, it either came in glass or it came in ceramics, which, providing you don't drop them, will last a hell of a long time. They tend to get a bit stained by what they've been stored in, but by and large, you know, glass and stoneware and that sort of thing, I mean, they will last a long time. The area where these bottles were found is a riverside district, which stretches from Sainsbury's to the east. There's not very much flat land in Bath, and what there is tends to be along the riverbanks, so which is why if there are any big industrial concerns, they tended to have been situated on the riverside site that's now being developed by Crest Nicholson. So, for example, the gasworks is there because it's a big site that needs lots of land. The Destructor Works is there. The Stothert and Pitt Engineering Works company is a very large concern and is in that area too. And what you find in the late 19th, you know, until the end of the age of factories, which in this part of the country is in the 1980s, you know, when places like the gasworks are closing down, the Stothert and Pitt works are closing down, you know, they're all close together in that district where these jars are to be found. And Stothert and Pitt, you know, 18th century engineering company, last through almost the 21st, you know, over 200 years of work in the city. The largest single manufacturing employer there has been, making enormous cranes on that riverside site. I think hard for people in Bath to believe, certainly hard for visitors to believe, that Bath was a place where heavy engineering is undertaken, and thousands of people working there. In 1945, there are about 2,000 people working for Stothert and Pitt. So it's a major concern, and it's a major part of the museum's collections. You know, we haven't actually got a crane. They're a bit big, but we've got practically everything else. Well, the museum is one of a large number in Bath. I mean, Bath is unusual and it doesn't have a municipal museum. And it's the one museum in the city which is concerned with two things that I think are particular to it. One, it's the commercial development of the city, so the working life of the city since Roman times. And secondly, it really is Bath's local history museum. So it's concerned with a geographical plot and with most of the people who've lived in it over the last 2,000 years. And most of those have been at work. So that is our subject matter, really. And the museum is concerned with the everyday. You know, Bath is one of those cities, I think most people probably agree, is famous for being exceptional. I think people in Bath think that there is something unique about the city, which I think everywhere is unique. but Bath has a particular character to it. There's something special about it. I think what the museum is concerned with is celebrating the everyday, and you can't get much more everyday than sauce bottles and paste jars and ink bottles and things like that. So it's part of our role is to celebrate this sort of usual stuff. The saving of these objects and bringing them to the museum, they are an end of an era for that part of the city. That finally all the decay and dereliction that surrounded all of these objects that was built on top of them is being cleared away. And every town or city is in a constant state of evolution. So it is the beginning of a new era for that part of the city and for the city in general.